Recently, someone asked me, is there a wider sport than surfing? Now, you'd think I'd be used to that question by now, but it stings just as much as the first time. So, I thought I'd learn y'all on some history. While some of the first known accounts of surfing date back to Ghana in 1640, one of the first preserved written descriptions of it was in Captain Cook's logs from his last voyage of the Pacific in 1779. He describes watching the locals wave riding with a sense of awe and fascination. 20 or 30 of the natives, taking each a long, narrow board rounded at the ends, set out together from the shore. The coast being guarded by a chain of rocks, they are obliged to steer their board or to quit it before they reach the rocks. And plunging under the wave, make the best of their way back again. At this wonderful scene, we stood gazing for more than half an hour, during which time none of the swimmers attempted to come on shore, but seemed to enjoy their sport in the highest degree. But surfing was deeply rooted in Hawaiian culture long before Captain Cook's arrival. For centuries, the kahuna performed special chants to bless new surfboards, asked the gods to bring good surf, and give courage to those who took on big waves. Legendary stories of wave riding were passed down from generation to generation through song and storytelling. Royalty and commoners alike could prove their status by showing off their skills and fearlessness in the waves. But the arrival of Cook put a very firm halt to Hawaii's surfing rituals. As European and American empires spread throughout the Pacific, indigenous peoples were transformed into colonial subjects and a labor force to be exploited. No one was to be distracted from their work. At the same time, a cultural revolution invaded the islands by way of Christian missionaries. Surfing wasn't just looked down upon, it was effectively forbidden for nearly a century. Even so, Hawaiians continued to sneak away and surf and keep their tradition alive. Surfing eventually spread across the world via tourism, a more modern evolution of colonial exploitation. On a trip to Hawaii, American novelist Jack London chronicles surfing as a royal sport for the natural kings of Earth. Jack's writing attracted hordes of tourists to Hawaii to watch the local Beach Boys in action. One of these locals was Duke Kahanamoku. At the Olympics of 1912, the young Hawaiian swimmer made a huge name for himself. Duke's popularity propelled surfing from ancient Hawaiian tradition to the attention of the world. He is often named as the Big Kahuna of surfing. In the post-war period of the 50s, the forefront of surfing moved from Hawaii to Southern California. Malibu was the new epicenter for surf culture, white surf culture. White surfers and blondes in bikinis were splashed on the cover of real estate brochures. The developers solidified surfing's white image by replacing its Hawaiian heritage with the Hollywood version. Structural inequality transformed coastal California from a predominantly working-class landscape to a playground for the world's elite. People of color were denied loans and housing all along the coast, even when the prospective black homeowner could provide cash. They simply didn't have access to the same beaches as white people. All but 2 beaches in Southern California were segregated. For most Black Americans, surfing was simply out of reach. But try as they might, no one owns the ocean. Around the same time, one Black man, Nick Gabaldon, decided this roadblock was something he would simply paddle around. Nick grew up surfing the beaches of Santa Monica, but he dreamed of better, longer rides. So he got on his board and paddled 12 miles to the iconic waves of Malibu. Nick would surf Malibu all day and then paddle back? Decades later, Surfer magazine published a letter written by Tony Corley asking his Black surfing brothers to stand up and make themselves known. He received dozens of replies, and Tony later founded the Black Surfing Association in 1975. He maintained Mother Ocean knows no prejudices. Today, there are important organizations committed to assuring that Corley's message endures. The Surf Collective, led by Black women, Textured Waves, has made it their mission to bring greater inclusion and companionship to the water. One Planet, One People is a group of surfers rooted in activism, supporting climate action alongside racial and social equality. But there is still a ton of work to be done to make this sport truly inclusive. The ocean is for everyone. It's the ultimate equalizer. It doesn't matter what color, gender, religion, or financial background that you come from. She will still smack you down whenever she feels like you deserve it.